by the way. I wish I had a recorder.
Thank you.
So going forward, I need somebody to remind me before we get started. Is the recording going? All right. So that's going. My apologies. All right. Who's next?
Mr. Lewis, could I go?
Yes, please.
Okay, so first, a smartphone is a device it's it's just not for talking, but you could use it for almost anything such as banking, investing, creating documents, watching TV, or attending a business meeting. Your smartphone also allows you to download apps with various functions. Cryptocurrency wallets, also known as hot wallets, are wallets that you use on your smartphone. I currently have Exodus and Clever wallets downloaded on my smartphone. Crypto debit card is used just like a regular debit card. The only difference is you are using cryptocurrencies and not the US dollar that is a that is in a traditional bank. At the moment, I don't have a crypto debit card as I will not be needing one until I'm 18. I don't have a cold storage yet, but I'm very familiar with them. The cold storage is considered to be your bank. In other words, this is where you store all your currencies offline. My favorite cold storage is Tantrum because it's easy to use and set up. Accounting is the process of keeping track of money for a person or business. It includes recording how much money is earned and spent. Accountants also organize this information to create reports like budgets or financial statements. This helps people make smart decisions about their finances. In simple terms, accounting is all about managing and understanding money. On the last call, you suggested to pick up a dictionary, and I just wanted to say that I also use vocabulary.com, which is an online dictionary that tells you the word, the definition, and how to pronounce the word. I have it on my phone and my laptop. I mostly use it for school, especially in my language arts class. And that's all for me.
Perfect. Great job. Great job. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Watavo, I like to go.
Yes, sir.
All right. So my first word is phone. A phone is a device that holds different apps and it has different functions, but it's mostly used for communication. All right. Wallet. A wallet is a digital tool that stores your crypto keys and keeps your crypto safe and accessible for spending and saving and sending. Accounting. Accounting is the action of keeping financial accounts. And a crypto card. A crypto card is a debit card that lets people spend cryptocurrency for everyday purchases, like if you're in a store or something like that. Cold storage. A cold storage is a device that's the most secure way to store private keys because it doesn't use the internet, so nobody can hack into it. All right, that's all my words.
All right.
By the way, I have a dictionary book.
You have the actual dictionary, right?
Yeah, I got a physical one.
Yeah, those are cool. That's what I did. I actually still have that dictionary, and it was given to me when I was 10, uh, because I had an issue or a problem spelling. And what was given to me on my 10th birthday was a dictionary, which is over there in the corner. So there are things in books that aren't, and this is no disrespect to the digital format, but
Yeah, all right.
What I would like to say about a book is, and I want to drop a little knowledge on you before I go with the next person. There's something called the written word that I'm going to drop a gem on you with. This is like some sidebar information, some wisdom coming back down, whatever you want to call it. But there's something known as the written word. Okay, so let's take that one as our next week's word, written word. Even though I'm getting ready to give you my version on it, there is many others. So don't take mine. Because mine is not going to be found in a notebook or a online, what I'm getting ready to tell you. And this is a little bit deeper into who you really are and how you understand what your journey is. But the written word, anything that is written, is etched into time. That's why I asked you to write down things. That's why I asked you to keep a notebook, because when you write a word, you etch it into that timeline. So basically, what you're doing is leaving a fossil, an information fossil for later on. When you write something, you lock it in, and you'll remember it much easier than you would to just read it. Okay, so when you write something out, you are etching it in time. And the easiest way to help you understand what that means is if you've ever heard of the word hieroglyphic. Hieroglyphic. A hieroglyphic is the written symbolism of a ancient individual. Just like if you go into pyramids or some of the stuff that they dig up out of the ground has writing on it. And that was written thousands of years ago. And here we are, can still pick up that tablet, which would be a notebook, pick up that tablet, knock the dust off, and read it. Well, the same thing happens up here when you write something. You are etching it into a tablet up here in the brain. That sounds weird, but you have endless tablets. Endless. So when you write something, you're actually writing it up here as well. That's why you're able to recall it or remember it if you write it down versus if someone says the combination is 66328 whatever, but you didn't write it. When you get up to the lock, you're gonna be like, what was six? What? Six? You're gone because it was not written. So the written word is more powerful than you would actually think that it is. When you do a paper, when you get into college, a lot of times it's done on a computer, right? Or some form of such. That is not written word. You are typing it on a device that does not write. But if you were to take a notebook and do a draft, you don't have to do the whole paper. This is just word for thought for you guys that are in college and going to college. This device is very powerful. If you just do a synopsis or a version of your paper in written word, you will remember that paper. Not only will you remember that paper, you will do exceptionally well on it because you've already etched it into the future. It's like those tablets. They wrote them back then, but in the future, thousands of years past or prior, someone's able to read that information and then further extend that knowledge. You see how that works? So that's just a little bite that I wanted to throw in there. That's the reason why we're doing this homework assignment, because it allows me to elaborate on things, and it also gives you the opportunity to speak. Okay. You know, I've been on that for the past 2 or 3 months. I think 2 months ago, I started asking you to speak more. because this is your course. This course is here for you. And it helps me understand you more when I can hear you speak. Okay. That's where the connection comes from. All right. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Um, who's next?
May I go next?
Yes, please.
Okay. Accounting is the consolidation of financial information to make that information clear and understandable for stockholders. An accountant is the person who manages financial records for a company or individual. They help make financial decisions and perform other tasks such as auditing, tax preparation, and tracking financial records. A smartphone is just a mobile device that has the function of a traditional phone, like a landline or flip phone, but is just combined with the intelligence of a computer. The IBM Simon Personal Communication, released in 1994, is considered to be the first smartphone, but the iPhone is the most popular. A crypto wallet stores and manages the cryptocurrency you receive. It stores your private keys that you need to access the currency, and the wallet also lets you send crypto and can be a device, a program, or an online service. A crypto debit card is like a regular prepaid credit card. You can use the card in stores or online. The currency is just crypto instead of credit. A cold storage wallet stores your private keys and is offline, which means it's not on the internet, which provides security from hackers. It's like using a USB to access your funds when needed. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Kayla. Awesome job as always.
Thanks.
I'd like to go next.
Yes, ma'am.
So for devices, a smartphone is capable of many tools to be used as a tool. It can be used for communication, multimedia, internet access, navigation, business, storage, and connectivity, as well as software applications. A smartphone is a very useful tool that is in the hands of most people today. A smartphone is a new form of technology that can be used all over the world. Accounting. Accounting is the action or process of keeping financial records clear. Cold storage wallet. A cold wallet, also known as offline storage or cold storage, is a cryptocurrency wallet that is never connected to the internet. This complete isolation from online networks is a safety feature of cold wallets designed to provide maximum security for storing digital assets. Cryptocurrency or crypto is a digital currency that uses crypto to enable secure transactions without the need for a central authority like a bank. I currently have Coinbase on my phone, as well as crypto.com and Trust Wallet. And for learning new words, I also have an app on my phone as well as a physical dictionary. The app on my phone gives me 5 new words every day. Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent job. Who's next? Should be one more.
Can I go next?
Yes, please.
Hey, uh, a phone can be used as a tool offering a range of benefits that support learning, communication, and entertainment. It can allow you to stay connected with family, friends, and ensuring safety through easy access to emergencies. Uh, phone is very helpful for kids and adults. A crypto wallet is a digital tool that allows users to store, send, and receive cryptocurrencies securely. It enables access to blockchain networks. Crypto wallets can be software based or hardware. I use the app called Exodus, but when I get older, I'm gonna use like Coinbase or Crypto.com. Accounting is the process of recording, summarizing, and analyzing financial transactions of a business. It can help track income, expenses, and overall financial health. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Is it Nick or Nicholas?
It's it's Nick, but it won't let me change my names. But like I texted you from them.
Okay. So I'm going to need you to hit me again so I can get proper information. But thank you for doing the homework assignment. Awesome work. All right. I think that covers everybody, unless there's one more that wants to speak on it. No? All right. All right. Let's see here. I think you just texted me. Yep. All right. I will be texting you with some more things that I need from you. Um, let's see. I also wanted to touch on one more thing before we get the other three words that I'm going to give you. These words are going to morph into a single thing. Instead of four words, they're going to go down to one specific thing, and then we will discuss it at detail every call. And it's what we're going into, the finance arenas, what you're going to be dealing with, what I hope to see you do in the future with your finances and things of that nature. Okay, so we're only going to grab one item, and I need you to do as much due diligence over the entire week on it as you can, and then we'll have a discussion at the end on it. All right, so it's going to morph just a little bit because I need to bring you up a little more into the present. I have given as much back information as I can and that I thought was necessary for the new um, attendees. You can go to the channel and see where we started almost a year and a half ago and get some of that information. A lot of it was recorded, some of it wasn't. But you know, that's a way to go back in time and grab some of this information from the students, myself, you know, just so that you can get caught up. All right. You don't have to go get every call and listen to them. It's just, you know, at your leisure, just in case if you want to know. That's why I record these calls so they can be looked up later on. I would also ask that you, since you're tuning in to this call, to get, you know, some enlightenment and some uplift and support in your financial foundation, I would also offer you to be able to come to the Monday night call now that you are pretty much up with all the adults. There's still some things that we will continue to learn here on this call just for you. But the adult call now is basically open and welcome to all of you if you care to join. On that call, you're going to see why you're learning the things you're learning here because we have already moved into the financial switch. And that switch is going from US dollar fiat into digital. Okay, there's going to be digital currency and then there's going to be cryptocurrency. So let's put those two, digital currency and cryptocurrency. There was a brief explanation given just a minute ago, but now you can go into detail. Cryptocurrency. And then the last word we'll get in just a second. So when you come to the Monday night call, which is a promise delivered, which you all are going to be in, so you need to know how it works, what it works, and all that. But you will see all that because of the presentation and the website itself. There's a huge change that has happened since, well, I want to say probably a week ago. And we're using the things that are really part of our society as a whole, which I was just talking about, the fact that we are moving from one arena of knowledge and going deeper into the digital, which means there's not going to be a lot of books. But in that same respect, AI is your next teacher. Okay, I'm going to say it out front just so that you know, which I'm sure you already do. The teacher is good, and that is the physical being that you get energy from when you get around them. You know, there's certain teachers you like, and there's certain teachers you don't because of the energy field that they carry. And you'll learn about that stuff too. But for the most part, AI is going to be the next teacher, and it does not have energy. All right. One moment. Hello. Conference call. Yeah, I'll call you back.
Say hi to my friend first.
Hello.
Okay, love. Bye-bye. Love you.
All right. All right. So basically, what is going to be done with that is all of your understanding is going to be slightly different. AI is going to give you straight information, just information from it to you. Remember, it's an it, not a person. But what you will see on the website when you get in there is a person talking. They can create pretty much anything, all the way up to a physical thing. There's some pretty crazy stuff happening, but for the most part, let's stay centered here. The AI is digital learning. So you see what I'm saying? It's going from one version to the next. And I want you to be able to separate. Notice I paused for a second. I want you to separate physical beings like myself and your teachers from AI and know that AI is a it. So never refer to it as she or he, because then you give it a living soul, which it does not have. Now, it will teach you 1000% on any category. But you still have to remember something. Someone human had to type the information into it so it can teach it to you. So always be able to separate, even though you see a person talking or what have you, or even on the phone, if you call certain companies, that you got to talk to this computer and it's trying to handle your finances. Number one, I don't trust any computer or a mechanical thing to handle my finances. I know how to add and subtract, and I will always do my own math. I don't care how big the numbers get. Always do your own math. Okay. Never take for granted that what that thing is saying to you is 100%, even though it's thought to be smarter than a human being. But remember this always. A human had to put that information into it so it can regurgitate it or say it to you. Now, it may fine tune and clean it up and make it look really nice, but someone physical, a human, had to give it information. Always remember that. Don't think a computer is smarter than you, it's just more proficient. That's it. But someone human had to give it that information. So never forget that. Use them because they are proficient. And I don't want you to not listen to your teachers, but you can always back it up by going to AI. I mean, it is part of what is happening to all of us. It's called evolution. Now, you can be in back of it, a non-believer. You can be along with it, learning, or you can be ahead of it and know its boundaries. And that's what I'm giving you right now. I want you to know it has boundaries. You are above it and always will be in front of it. When you get along with it, then you're learning from it. You have no more knowledge than it, which is not true. I don't want you to ever think that you are along with it. All right. And you definitely don't want to be behind it, where 90% or 85% of the US is. They are not ready for what you are learning right now. Trust me. Ask any kid your age, what is a crypto wallet? With the information that you have right now, ask one and see if they can give you some of the information you heard today. Absolutely not. Ask their parents or an adult. A real easy one. What's digital currency? See if they can give you a clear, decisive answer. And then ask them my favorite question. When was the last time you seen digital currency? If they don't say when I was at the ATM machine, they have no idea. I'm going to show you how powerful that question and answer is. What is digital currency? It is the digit representation of an amount of resources that one would have. A digital representation. Now let's think about that right there. Put that as the last word. Digital representation. And you guys already did a homework assignment on this, but I'm just circling around for clarity. Digital representation. What is it? Basically, numbers on a screen. And you ask any individual, and I'm talking, you could go ask a banker. And because they don't think this way, they don't see it. And they do it on an occasion of every minute of the day. But if you don't know what it means here, because you've written it down, you're etching this information into your timeline. A digital representation is basically digits on a screen. ATM machine, the bank teller screen, when they're looking at the screen, typing in your information, and they can look up your account. Your account is under what number or what identifier? Numbers, digits. All right. So you see how far this is going back? Just in that little shorter time, now you have understood what digital representation is, what is digital money, and when was the last time you've seen it? Again, if you don't think a certain way, you will have no knowledge. Ask anybody that you want. When's the last time you saw digital representation? Number one, they're not going to understand the question. Number two, even if you said, when was the last time you seen a digital representation of your money? That's a hidden question with a zero answer because you don't have money. That's the first thing. But most people would say, well, I have $300 in my account. Right there, you know that they don't know anything. They do, but they don't. Number one, you don't have money. You have a debt service instrument. Listen to the word debt service instrument, not money. Debt service instrument. There's 3 syllables. Most people would say, I have $5. No, you don't. No, you don't. See, it's the knowledge. The last time that adult would have seen a digital representation of your currency would have been at an ATM machine. When you put your card in, what do you use to get your entrance? A 4-digit number, right? You don't get to put words in. There's no words at the ATM machine. You're putting in what? Digits, numbers. Is it coming through? Did the light just click? Once you put in your 4 digits, you choose which account you're going into. You punch checking. When you punch checking, it's going to pop up. You have $650.27 in your account. How much do you want to withdraw? That's $627 and whatever cents is a digital representation of your resources. It's not money, it's resources. Money's coming as soon as the orange man takes office. It's going to change from fiat, the word fiat, that actually should, let's put that in there too. Might as well. So we have 5 words next week. Fiat. You don't have to put currency behind it because it's not. It's fiat, period. But anyway, in order to get a definition, you have to put fiat currency. But anyway, my point here, the last time a digital representation of the person's resources was seen at an ATM machine, you put in 4 digits, digital currency. You put in the 4 digits to see your other digits. So how long have you been using digital currency? It's not new. That's the fun part about knowledge. Everybody thinks when they hear this, sooner or later, they're going to have to announce it. When they say, well, now your digital currency is such and such and such, quantum financial system. It's going to change from a debt service instrument or debt service, what did I say? Yeah, debt service instrument, basically. It's going to change from that to a commodity-backed currency, money. Okay, right now, there's nothing backing fiat, nothing. So it has a zero value. And I know you're thinking, well, how is it that I can go get gas? How am I going to go get groceries? How am I paying my bills? With a debt service instrument. That's what I use, instrument. With a debt service, listen, debt. Anytime you go to do something, when you put all those groceries on the counter and the person on the other side, they put it all in the bag, there's a debt on the screen in what? Digits. See how fun this is getting? Debt service instrument. So you take out the instruments for debt and hand it to them. Not money. You hand them debt service instruments. That's what this stuff is. Fiat is a debt service instrument. So you use it to relieve debt. Relieve it. You're not paying it, you're relieving it from you. Or an agreement. Your agreement at that counter after your stuff was all scanned in, it became a debt to you. You satisfy the debt with the debt service instruments. $200. Oh, you gave me a little too much. Here, I'll give you some back. Right? They give you a receipt of a satisfied transaction because the debt was serviced at that counter with debt service instruments. You get a receipt of transaction. I bet you didn't think it was that deep while you were standing there getting those Captain Crunches and whatever else, right? You just knew you were getting something to eat. But there's a whole process going on that everybody passes by as regular. I'm going to go to the grocery store and get some food. They don't look at the transactions. They don't look at what is it you're using, debt service instrument, and what happened at that counter. A debt transaction. So when you look at this process the right way, it's easier to manage. All of that whole transaction was digital until you handed them debt service instruments. A non-backed, unvaluable piece of paper. It's horrible, isn't it? How they've lied to you. How they got away with making you think that you had something of value. See how knowledge is so powerful. When you were at the ATM machine, you punch in your 4 digits. Remember the word digits. You're going to hear that a lot. You punch in your 4 digits. That's digital transaction. That's a digital key to the digital vault, which is your bank account. You see a amount or a balance of whatever it is. I'll say $100. 100 representation, digital representation of debt service instruments. That's what you're seeing, not money. And see, that's the knowledge that you have to have. What is it? What am I using? The more you know about what you're using, the easier it is to navigate. But if you think for 1 second that this is money, you're standing behind the whole process. Remember, you want to be in front of the process. You don't want to be behind AI. You don't want to be along with AI. You want to be ahead of AI. And knowing the difference between this and what is coming very shortly is the first step. This, I will say, is worthless. You show me what's backing this, and then I'll agree with you, or I'll change my statement. But I would like for anyone to do the due diligence and find out what is backing this piece of paper. What's backing it? What is the actual value? And I don't want to hear demand, supply and demand gives it its value. That's Bitcoin. If that was true, then it would be money right now. Because that's what's given Bitcoin its value, supply and demand. Right? That thing is worth what, 60,000, whatever it is. I don't even look at it anymore because I know what it is. It's this. And anybody that thinks it's not is behind AI. I'm preparing you to stay ahead of AI, to have the proper knowledge and use it accordingly. All right. So, what is backed by something to give it a value is considered money. Now, there's one thing that we know as true money. There's 2 things. Well, actually, a bunch of things, but 2 main things that most people are familiar with that have an intrinsic value labeled on it with just the weight, the sheer weight of it gives it its value. Whatever weight it is, times whatever the current value statement it is, gives it its value. And we're talking about precious metals, silver and gold. All right. That's real money. That has always been the real money because it is based off of a precious metal that is derived from the planet. This is derived from a couple of guys getting in a room and saying that this is a dollar. They're saying it's a dollar. Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve. When a bank contacts the Federal Reserve, which is a foreign company in this country that handles all of the money that we use, that we cannot walk into. You are not allowed to walk inside of the Federal Reserve in this country, but they are here dealing with our supposed paper of resource. But you can't go in their building. You're not allowed. Not even the president can go in the Federal Reserve to this country. And they're here telling you what your money is. Do you want to be behind AI? Do you want to be with AI? Or do you want to be in front of it? That knowledge puts you in front of AI. The Federal Reserve tells the banks when they contact them, let's say Chase, we're going to do housing in Kentucky, and we need 33, let's just say $3 billion to back our mortgage department. Federal Reserve says, okay, here's $3 billion. Now Chase can put on their books $3 billion. Federal Reserve did not send a truck over to Chase and drop off $3 billion. They just said, okay, you have $3 billion. And it just think appears in their back office. Where did the $3 billion come from? And how did it land in their balance from a phone call? It's called hypothecation. Hypothecation. That's another word. We'll save that because I don't want to have too many words. Somebody write that down for me for next week. Hypothecation of a resource. What value does it have other than a conversation between the bank and Federal Reserve? All right. So we'll get into that later. I just wanted to hit those two things. It's 12:15. Let's go into Q&A. If you have questions, this is part of your last week's assignment. It's time for questions. Q&A. Any questions? I have to stop myself because I'll get deep.
Emma quote was DSI one of the words?
Was which one now?
DSI, debt service instrument.
Yeah, let's put it on there. So hypothecation, because they're both basically the same. Well, not the same, but they work with one another. So yeah, put that down too. Hypothecation and debt service instrument, which is this. Any other questions?
Mr. Liz, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, so back on the AI topic, do you think AI is a part of the evil realm or world?
That's where you come in. That's a beautiful question. And the question was, is AI dirty or clean? And my answer to you, Christian, is this. You make the determination by having done due diligence on it. Okay, so depending on what it is attached to, You do your due diligence. Always, let's put that one down too. Due diligence. Due diligence is you checking it out. Now, AI is going to be used both ways. I'm just going to tell you the blunt truth. So it's going to get a little harder protecting yourself without doing due diligence, which is whatever it is you're using it for or how it's being used with you. That's where the human part comes in. And this is discernment. If it sounds way too good to be true, that something is being promised, that if you do certain things, that's that famous old thing. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Not always, because a promise delivered sounds way too good to be true, but I can assure you it is. So you have to do your discernment, which really only takes a couple of minutes. Just stop for a second and think, what is this AI asking me to do? What comes out of me doing it? And what do I have to give up to participate? Do I have to give up vital information? Do I have to give up my location? Those two things you never give up to any AI. Your location, number one, for your safety, and two, vital information, your social security number, your bank account numbers. Those two things are never given. I don't care. Now, if you have location on your phone, which I don't recommend for young people, because if they get your number, they can find out where you are. If they want to snatch you, that's how they do it. I don't know if you knew that or not. Another nugget. Location on your phone gives your location. And if you have your phone on you, they know exactly where to get you. Okay, so never put your, if you have location on your phone, turn it off. Unless you're 18 and up. Little ones, turn it off. You don't need location. Because a lot of people are going to get into this snatching kids for ransom. Just so you know, there are certain things that happen when people get rich. And this is a life lesson here. Everybody's about to get rich because when the orange man goes in, a lot of things are going to change that you are not used to. Number one, taxes are going to change. Number two, they have to return a large portion of your parents' taxes. So they're going to become rich. And if someone that knows your parents or gets that information some kind of way, who are they coming after to get some of that money? You. And if you have location on your phone and they have your phone number because you gave it to some AI, so be very careful what information you give up. Check it several ways before you start giving information. I don't recommend anyone under 18 giving information on their whereabouts. I don't care who asked you to do it. Turn it off. Now, if you need it for specific information or homework, you can turn it on for while you're doing whatever, because sometimes it'll need your location. I don't know why, but some things that you look up needs to know your location and all this to get the answer. Turn it on for that and then turn it back off. Okay. No one needs to know where you are except for your parents. Anybody else outside of parents or family? No. And they can call you for that. They don't need a locator. It's good to have. Now, there's other things called, which is AI also, which you can set up by yourself as a locator device, which is a small thing, about the size of a bottle top that you put on a person that has a locator on it. It could be in your book bag or whatever, just so parents can pull up where you're at. No one else will have that information because they won't know you have a locator on you. Okay, so that's something to think about versus the cell phone. Anybody can get a cell phone number and start locating people. if you have location on. So youngins under 18, turn location off on your phones. All
Mr.
right.
Lewis, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you think that so many celebrities, YouTubers, and people like that are trying to acquire so much more of this debt service instrument that you're speaking of, but there's no value behind it?
Because they're uneducated. Now, see, your question is perfect. The reason you just asked that question is because they don't have the knowledge you are getting right now. You know the difference between this and digital currency, which is coming. It's not out yet. But the first digital currency that was known, it was connected to this, which you still know right now at the ATM machine, that's digital currency. But when they come out and release the QFS, which is a quantum financial system, then there will be a new piece of paper that is different from this one that will be considered money. The celebrities and everybody else out there is still on this. You see how much further advanced you are, but just by being on this call, you know the difference between this and what's coming. That's what you would call uneducated.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And eventually they're going to have to take this and turn it in. They're going to have to do just like with the currencies that you're hearing about or should have heard about by now. Foreign currencies, they're what is backing a lot of things. They have to be exchanged for the new currency. So these YouTubers and all that, they're going to have a bunch of this and they have to exchange it for the new one instead of just getting the new one and just relax on this old stuff because it's pretty much done in about another 16 days or 15 days. It'll be all over with. Okay. They're going to have to come out with the QFS because, just for a side note and a little bit more information, the Biden administration spent 30%. Listen to me. 30% of the 2025 balance or allotted money for 2025, they spent 30% of it in 4 days. Listen to me. That is a deliberate attempt to bankrupt an entire country. An entire country. 30% of the budget for next year is already spent, and they're trying to spend the rest of it before they have to leave office. So that is leaving the orange man one absolute option, and that is to revalue. So they're doing them a favor, really, and doing us a massive favor because you're going to have to exchange this to the new money because they're spending all of this, whatever's left now before he gets office so they can put him into a bankrupt country. It's pure evil. Anybody who voted for that group, you now see what you voted for. Pure evil. And they're doing it because they don't like him. But who is the actual person and people that have to foot the bill for what they're doing? You and I. They're destroying us in the whole I don't like him thing. I don't like him, so I'm going to do this to make him have a hard time. But who's really having the hard time? Ask your parents what the grocery bill was this past Friday. Look at dad's face when he goes to the gas station. And then multiply that times the entire country. Do you even know it? If you did any kind of Christmas shopping, what were you able to get? Not very much. Because this is in a full depression. That means this doesn't even exist. Even this, a representation of whatever we're supposed to have, has zero, actually a negative balance or a negative value. So it like I said, you're going to learn a lot here, and do due diligence on any and everything that I say on this call, which I should have done my disclaimer. So going forward, reminders, I need to be reminded, and I can make notes to start the recording and do the disclaimer. Any and all information that I put across this call for your education and entertainment is just that. I do not have license to give financial advice and or physical or legal advice. You have to get a hold of a licensed practitioner of those values to get the proper information. My call is for education and entertainment purposes only. And it is of my opinion and my opinion only. Everyone has that ability. Use your own. All right. So I put that out. Any other questions before I jump off? There should be a billion questions. I don't understand why you guys are being quiet. I'm just going to put it out there. No, Catherine? No more questions? No more questions? I'm going to get off. I'm going. One.
Mr. Lewis, I have a question.
Here we are.
What's your thoughts on the Orange Man possibly doing away with BRICS if they don't have the U.S. currency as the top dollar, and he's threatening to put 25% tariffs on them?
Well, here's the thing with BRICS, and this is why I've just talked about what I did, but beautiful question, because this question is now going to back up what I was saying. Number one, BRICS was created because of all the tariffs and all of the unfair practices by the United States of America. And you have to know and understand that you are part of a country that is a huge bully and always has been. It is run by the mafia. You knew them if you watched any old movies, which you probably haven't, but if you have, because you have parents that, are a little older than you will have seen movies like, I don't know all the names of them, but you would see the mafia. Then they were guys that would go around, beat up people and take money, make them pay them to keep them safe. That was that transaction of money and power. There is a thing or a group of people called the Ku Klux Klan. Okay. Now I'm just being honest. And if my honesty is too much for you, I get it. But sometimes truth hurts. Those individuals used to run around in hoods and pitchforks and all this foolishness and do great harm to people of color for a tyranny thought or a control aspect. Well, they moved from those outfits. Okay. We all know what the Ku Klux Klan looks like, the white robes and the hood hiding their identity. Because number one, they are ashamed of what they're doing. So they had to hide. All right. I don't care what you say, why this outfit was created. It is sheer embarrassment for what you are doing to another human being. That's number one. Number two, they moved from that outfit into suits and ties, full face, wide open. You can see who they are, but you don't know their true identity until you see their work. All right. So, Juanita, your line is open. Thank you. With this transition, you don't know who's who, only by their actions. Okay. How they treat, what they do, what their policies are, and how they implement them on us. It's no longer just people of color. It's everybody. Because they felt like, well, if we just beat up on one portion of the population, we're only going to get a little bit of money, right? That's why it's so hard for people of melanation. Number one, we stop reading. That's a whole nother conversation. Let me stick to the topic. So they stop picking on one group of people. They put on a new outfit, suits and ties, uniforms with badges and guns. They put on all the aspects, the tax department, the all of the institutions that supposedly helping people now control people. We have a thing called what? Assistance, state assistance. That's the crop keeper. That was the guy that was on the horseback making them pick cotton. That guy would stand over and watch and make sure they picked the cotton. Same thing down there. They give you a certain amount of money, but they made you reliant on them. You couldn't eat, the kids couldn't eat, or anything like that unless you were under their control. So these gentlemen put on these new uniforms and took over the world, literally. Congress, House, I don't care what, they can say what they want. But if you look at the actions of these people and what they do and how they do it, then you know what they stand for and who they work with. The banks, so look at your banks. All of the banks have guys in suits, right? Bank owner, right? Does the bank work for you? No. If they did, why would they give you a loan for money that they didn't have in the first place? Hypothecation. Put you under a restraint, put you under a lock and key. I own you, and you're going to go to work and pay me money I didn't give you. You have to be able, in front of AI, stay in front of AI. So, going all the way back to your original question, would he put tariffs? No. Number one, like I said, BRICS was to break up this control over people because, well, basically was to break up our hold upon everybody else. If you notice, America's in every country around the world telling them how to live. I didn't like that when I served for the military because I seen where we were. I got to go around this globe twice. I've seen everywhere we go. And everywhere we go, we destroy that country. Truth hurts. We are the biggest bullies known to the world. Hitler didn't have nothing on us. He just killed a lot of people purposely. But we do it around the world and expect everybody to like us. Know this right now and know this for the rest of your life. Until things change in that aspect, it's always going to be the same. So BRICS was created to break up the stronghold that we have on other countries around the world. We tell them how to live, use our money, and we take all your resources and give you nothing back. Look at Africa. Look at every wedding ring that all of you are wearing. Look down at that wedding ring. Look at that diamond sitting in that ring. That diamond mostly came from Africa. Yet, 1,000 babies die a day from starvation. One of the richest countries on the planet. You've seen the commercials. I've been there. The commercials are exactly like they look. Mounds of trash, garbage from other people, not even in that region. We have a dump site where the garbage goes to the dump, right? It goes, the trucks, guys come pick it up. I used to do that work. So I know, pick up the garbage and take it to the dump. Now, I'm going to get back to your question, but I just have to show you something. Why BRICS is. We take the garbage to the dump and it's covered over on the dirt and it just disintegrates down. In Africa, they collect garbage from the cities where the civilized live, and they bring it out to these, I guess you could say, villages, and they throw it in different places, not all in one spot. They just scatter it around. And then the people, listen to me. This is the garbage. This is when I lost my taste for the United States military, because it's connected to the United States. They're allowing this to happen. They take that garbage and put it in the villages. The villagers see this as a way of getting something to eat, right? Garbage from someone else. Now, you know, like I know, garbage is garbage, and you put everything in there. If you have dogs in the house, you collect that waste and throw it in the garbage, right? Rotten chicken or rotten food that may have gone bad, you put it in the trash and you throw it in the garbage. Same thing. Now, these villages have no money, because there's no work there. They have, huts. They're not living in a house. Like I said, I've been there. I'm speaking on real knowledge. I've seen it with my own two eyes. They go to these garbage dump sites and pick through it and get food and bring it to the house. The richest country in this globe is eating garbage from a city of people that could care less about them. And the United States is selling diamonds every day. If you don't believe me, go to the mall. If you don't believe me, look at that ring on your finger. There's diamonds in it. If it's an older diamond ring, those diamonds came from Africa. We pillaged them. All right? We make them go down and dig them up and, go in these mines barefooted. They don't give them equipment. They give them a hammer, a chisel. They make them strip down to underwear so that they can't take a couple stones and, come up. Ah, that's too much like right. But we take one diamond, one. Give it a carat rating, the 1 through 5 and 7 and 9, different color, fetch higher amounts. I've seen a diamond ring that was $80,000. One ring, one diamond, because I was looking. $80,000. One ring. But yet, the babies in that country are walking around naked. There is no, on those commercials, they put diapers on them or they put old clothes on them just because it's a commercial that people would be looking at. But they are actually naked. There is no clothing. Flies walk all over them. They have lumps and bumps from eating bad food, no water. So you look at BRICS. BRICS came up because this country decided to do these things all over the world, not just in Africa. I just chose that one because of the fact all of us are wearing a ring of some sort with a diamond in it. It's my birthstone, so I have to respect it. So I wanted to see where my birthstone came from. And because I was in the Navy, I got a chance to see it twice. Twice. And both times it was just as bad as the first. So BRICS was brought up by 7 countries to stop the stronghold that the U.S. had on everybody or has on everybody. And that stronghold that you just spoke of is a tariff, which makes a country bow down and say, okay, well, if you don't do what I want you to do, be a democratic or whatever country and use my money to buy things while I take your things with value and sell them, and get more of my money in my pocket, I'm going to hurt you that way. The Orange Man is not about that. What is going to happen is going to be a revaluation. That's why I just talked about the 30% of the budget that they have spent in 4 days trying to bankrupt this country to give him a country that has no means in this stuff. This is the part you have to pay attention. In this stuff, this has no value anyway. But what they did is thought, well, if we spend up all of this, when he takes office in 16 days or whatever it is, he will be a bankrupt country. We got him back. No, what you are doing is killing us, idiot. That 30% that or 40% or whatever they get away with spending before he takes office is coming out of your and my pocket. They're not getting him, they're getting us. And that's why I said, if you voted for that idiot, that's the Democratic Party. It's never been for you. It's been for them. Hell, they just asked for a raise just before the break. Did you know that? Congress wants a 40% raise. Why do they want a 40% raise? Because they have spent up 40% of the budget. They want to raise so that their income doesn't change. Ours does. You're already seeing it at the gas pump and at the grocery store. So would he put on tariffs? No, absolutely not. What he's going to do, which he has no choice at this point. He has to revalue, which, like I said, is a benefit to all of us. We all receive with that action. Now, when he revalues, there's no need for BRICS, because a revaluation across the entire globe means that country's paper now has the value of the resources of that country, which means out of all these years, Africa will be able to stand on its own because of the resources in the ground. Which means those diamonds by the truckloads that are there still, the precious metals that are in the ground over there, because of the heat of itself and the lack of water, precious metals condense. You know, the whole science of that. Because there's not been a lot of development, the ground is pure. So now that country is going to become one of the richest next to Iraq because of what they have, and other countries. Now they will be able to say, my paper is worth whatever, not US dollar, because they won't have this. They'll have their own paper. And then they can put the value of their country behind their paper, which makes it money. Anytime something is supported by a value, the paper representation carries that value. Okay? So a tariff would say, all right, if you don't use my stuff, I won't allow you to, I won't buy anything from you, and I'll make it illegal for you to sell it somewhere else. Number one, you can't make anything illegal in another country. You don't own the country. That's the mindset of these idiots over here. Congress, House, and all of them. They all need to be removed. Personally, I think all presidency and anything in that realm should be gone because it's a failed system. One man cannot control an entire country. You show me one that can, and then I'll believe in presidency. I personally don't believe in it. It's garbage. Even as far down as your mayor in your city. The mayor in your city, is he on your street right now? If there's a pothole out front, would he know about it? If there was an accident and somebody hit and ran, Would he know about that accident? No. If someone set a house on fire, I don't know, arson, would he know about that fire? Absolutely not. So the mindset that we have here in this country makes us think that one person can run an entire country. Number one, absolutely impossible, because he cannot be everywhere all the time. All the way down to the mayor. I don't care. Well, whoever's in charge of the small area that you live in, he cannot be everywhere all the time to maintain control. All he can do is write laws or write reasons for you to do a certain thing. Right? When someone picks up a gun and goes out to the grocery store and shoots 10, 12 people, could he have stopped that? No. So when you ask me a question like that, or that, to me, this is my belief system. One man cannot run an entire country. It's a failed system. We only followed it because it's in the Constitution, and that's what they did before us. But to look at it in reality, it doesn't work. Just think about it. So would he put on tariffs? No, I don't believe so. What he's going to have to do is reevaluate. And when he does that, all of the stuff that's under the ground in the United States will back the paper representation. Notice I didn't pick up those instruments anymore, because there's going to be a new piece of paper that will hold the value of the United States and its connecting regions. If you noticed, I don't know if you caught this or not, that there's floating, I'll just say there is a thought to taking Canada and acquiring it as one of the states of the United States. Did you guys know that? That there is an agreement being floated to acquire Canada? Why would we do that? Now think for a minute. Number one, the president up there lost his mind. So they want him out of that office. So there was a float to acquire Canada as one of ours. We're broadening our reach. Why would we broaden our reach into a frozen zone? Think about it. If it's a frozen zone, that means, just like in Africa, there's not been a lot of development. That means the ground below is pure, right? There's resources in the ground. So by acquiring that, that gives us more reach for more resources to back a currency, right? The more regions you have, the more resources in the ground, the more backing you can put on the paper. So would he put tariffs on them and make them do all these things? No, because that's the old school way. That's the Bushes and all those guys, Obamas, and all those people believe in terrorism. Force people to do things. Okay? That's that thug mentality, or that, like I said, the mafia. That's their mindset. I will hurt you if you don't do what I tell you. That's not how this is set up. That's not how it was ever set up to be. That's why there's different regions. Everyone is basically their own sovereign. And these are things you'll learn later. But to answer your question, no, he's not going to do that. He's going to revalue. He has no choice. And when he revalues and puts our currency back on a gold standard, which that's what the reevaluation does, is put a commodity behind the paper. When he does that, he's also going to release and relieve all debt. That's why there's no more need for this. When you get rid of the debt of a country, then you can start it anew with new paper. So he's not going to do that. He's going to reevaluate and actually bless all of you, because when you get rid of the debt, that means the debt instrument that was taken from you in the form of taxes has to be returned in the new paper, not the old. So yeah, that is not going to happen. He's going to revalue. I hope that answered your question.
Muntavo, I have a question for you, if I may.
Go ahead.
And I wanted to comment on what you said for the question. Um, yeah, we're on the same train. I'm on board with everything you said. I knew about the plan to acquire Canada. I believe he also has plans, or he's trying to acquire, is it Iceland or Greenland? One of the two. I think it's Iceland. Um, but as far as one of the reasons why he wants to acquire Canada is because the reevaluation or revaluation is going to happen. But he wants, see, this is one thing that a lot of people don't understand. They are so small minded, a lack of knowledge and understanding, and they still have this slave mentality that they've been put under for generations, to think that when he says, make America great again, and so many think, oh, we're going back to slavery. No. One of the main things he's talking about to make America great again, is to strengthen our economy, because he knows where the money system, the fintech world is now going. He wants to strengthen our dollar under the new system. If he acquires Canada, and Mexico is desired too, it's going to be a one currency for all of North America, Canada, America, and Mexico together under one currency, which will strengthen our new dollar backed by gold and other commodities, uh, against the other currencies around the world that will have their own strength. He wants to make the other countries pay their fair share in so many other ways that they haven't been by using America. But like you said, we've been a terrible bully for all of your life and mine, because we go back to when the dollar was turned into the petrodollar. But all of the, well, you and I weren't back here in 1940, what is it, 3, 4, 5, when they did the Brexham thing, and got control after World War II. But yeah, that's the reason. One of the reasons why he wants to acquire Canada. Now, also, when you talked about you're against the presidency, or the term the president controlling one nation. Well, our first president, what did America? What were we fighting against? We were fighting against England and the tyranny of King George, that one king system that executed so much tyranny over all the nations that they controlled. The British Empire was the largest empire the world had ever seen as far as acquiring land around the world. There's been no Rome, Genghis Khan, Mongolia. Now, I think he was the largest contiguous empire with land with no break as far as water, but England had the largest empire around the world, bar none.
Yep.
And so what happened is, once we won the war, those all the people around Washington, we formulated the Constitution and all of that. What did they do? I don't know if a lot of you all knew it. You probably know it, Muntavo. They wanted to make him king, ruler, president of America for life. And he had the wits to say no. I'm just going to do it for 4 years. And he did the same thing Jimmy Carter did. Went back and retired at Mount Vernon. Jimmy Carter went back to his small little dwelling farm back in Georgia and just lived a simple life. But he was a humanitarian around the world. That's why we're honoring him so much, more so for what he did after the presidency than what he did in the 4 years as the president. It's the same thing with Rome. Julius Caesar tried to become dictator, ruler, emperor, where they had a republic where many of them governed, and they killed him on March the 15th at the Ides of March because they said no. I think this was back in what, 22, 26 BC? But what did they do some 20 some years later, if that long? Put an emperor in office with what was his name? Oh God, what was the first emperor's name? Slipped my mind that quick. Right after Julius Caesar, they began the imperial rulership of Rome with their first emperor. Shortly after they killed Julius Caesar, he just came up too quick. He wanted it and he went after it. And after they killed him, well, now the Roman government is having problems. So let's put an emperor up there, and they put what is his name? Why can't I remember?
Well, let's try to keep it short, babe. This is the kids' call.
Okay, but yeah, that's the thing. But my question was, did you come up with a name for the kids' call because you said you wanted to change it? I have a name for suggestion. If you have it, did you come up with anything?
No, not yet. They haven't chosen one.
Okay, what about the juniors? That's
Say it again.
The juniors. That's
The
above,
juniors.
yeah, that's above kids. That's a higher sounding term than kids, but lower than adults.
Well, actually, I want them to choose it, but that's a good suggestion. The juniors call, but somebody 20 years old doesn't want to hear junior. So
Okay.
they really gotta pick it. But
Okay.
thank you for the
Sure.
the
No,
thought. Maybe they might run with it. We'll see what they choose.
yeah. Okay. All right. I'm done.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Any other questions?
Mr. Lewis, I just wanted to say thank you after you finish speaking, and to just sum it up or to get a clarification. So he's going to reevaluate the dollar by performing audits.
Yeah, well, the reevaluation of the currency is going to be a reinstatement of this country's paper. So, like I said, this is a debt service instrument. We won't any longer have debt because that's the first thing that has to go. Once that goes, he has to return what was taken in this respect from the people. So the parents and some of you that have worked at a real job and had taxes taken out of your check, they have to be returned. That's the second part. The third part is presenting the new paper. That's why I haven't picked up anything because I don't have anything to show, but there is a brand new paper at the bank. And that paper will be gold, silver, and commodity. 3 items will be backing it. So 3 things that we have. We have precious metals, because every country is supposed to have been buying or has already bought up gold because we were taken off of the gold standard and all of our gold was scattered everywhere with these evil people making payments for whatever reasons, all dark. But those golds are supposed to have been repurchased and sitting in weights of backing the paper. So the third thing that he would do is bring out the new paper, which will look different, but will be backed by those 3 things. And that will be what he does. That's the proper way to reinstate and make this country great again and stop all the bullying that we have been doing for countless Even the first term he was in there, he was still along with that program because, it continued. But once we get to this point, this is the turning point for the entire world, not just the United States, but the entire world gets a restart or a wipe off all of the garbage and start over with your, in lack of better words, your banking. And your banking is the paper that you have that represents your country, the digital representation, which is the digital currency. It'll be not only the digits on the screen, but there will be just like a Bitcoin, it has the little coin or whatever. There will be a digital paper, not a coin. That's coming. But there will be a digital paper that you can pull from a resource and put it where you want to put it, i.e., which would be the cold storage. Like I said, it's capable of holding digital currency, cryptocurrency, NFTs, which is artwork basically that holds a value, almost like a piece of paper, but it is different. It's a digital artwork that will have its own value. All right. So that's what he's going to do. He has no choice but to do it, which is the right way to reset everybody. So how does it get rid of BRICS? Because of what I just said. Each country will have its own representation. It'll be able to back its paper with whatever the country's in-ground value is or whatever they produce on a regular basis. Like we have been taking foods that are produced in other countries, we pay them with our own money and then resell that food at a higher rate. Okay, we got something with value, sent a payment of something with zero value, so we make out twice. And that's what we've been doing all around the world. All these different countries that produce things on a regular basis. You probably have some on your body right now. Look at the tags. Where did it come from? Who made it? Okay. Look at the gym shoes that everybody's spending $100, $200, $500 on. I'm not going to say any names because this is recording, but you know who I'm talking about if you've gone to a shoe store. But those shoes are created in a country that they pay them $6 for. This thing in my hand, you know how much this thing is worth? Actually, $4. What did we pay for it? Because we went through a company that marked it up and said it's worth all of this. It's this. It does this. Yeah, it did that when those people over there made it in another country that you paid them $6 to make it. You bring it over here and sell it for $1,800. That's what this phone costs. $1,800. Only took $6 to make it. That's that bully mafia mentality. That's what this country has done to everybody. And if you think anything different, you are incorrect. That's where slavery came from. You go grab some people, tell them to go in this field and pick this stuff. You make clothes out of it and sell it for $30. You gave them $3 a month or whatever it was. Some scraps that you didn't eat for dinner, you throw it out the back door, and that's what their pay was. But they were out there in that field all day, all week, all month. That's that capitalism. Take control of everybody. Take control of all the resources. Control everybody. You make all the profits and help no one. That's what this country has done all the way up until right now. And we'll see what happens on the 20th. What is he going to do to change that whole mindset? He's not the savior of the world, but he is definitely one that wants to see a different process. A lot of people got it all mixed up. They listened to the media and formed a thought process about this man before you even gave him an opportunity to do it. What happened his first term? Just a little history. He started fixing things, right? He started making things right. He got a lot of stuff flipped around. And what did they do? Took it from him. stop this because he's going to fix stuff. We don't want that. We want to stay in control. So what they do? Come up with this crazy election and said that this individual that we have right now won, which he actually didn't. And we all know that, but they had to do their thing. So what did he do? Step back and play chess. Okay, go ahead, play your game. I'll give you 4 years to play your game. What has happened in these 4 years? We are at the brink of World War III. We are completely and utterly bankrupt. And we have 20 million illegal people in this country that are killing us on a daily and weekly basis. This is what you voted for if you voted for that man. In 4 years, he has literally obliterated the United States. I want you to think about that. They own everything. They own the media, so they put on the screen, Trump's this, he did that, he's doing this, he's that. But he's the only president that put money in your pocket. I don't know if you know that or not. He's the only one that actually sent some money to you. When they seen that, they had to stop him at any means necessary. And they did it. They stopped him for 4 years. But then he played chess. Step back and let the people talk. Let the pawns, the rooks, if you've ever played chess, let all the pieces go out into the board and see what happens on the board. He stayed back with the queen, right? The king and the queen stayed back. They don't move until advancement has gone past his people. And we spoke when we voted. Give him another chance. And stop looking at what the media says, because you have to remember who owns the media. The Democratic Party. They own everything. CNN, MSNBC, all of them. So they tell them what to say. And when they tell them what to say, people that are not awake listen to the news every night at 10 o'clock or whatever time it comes on. I don't watch TV. But a lot of people do watch TV still. And every night they will listen to what the media said, that orange man this, orange man that, orange man bad. So if you hear the same thing over and over and over and over and over, if all they're talking about is that one man, what is this man doing? That was never put on the news. Do you know that? Did you know that? All of the news for the past 4 years has been about him. Nothing about the one that's sitting. And all the blunders, all the fails, all the trashing, all of the death that they are responsible for. The vice president, listen to this, just so that you know, said, oh, when I get in office, I'll fix the border. Excuse me, you've been there for 4 years. There's 21 million people in this country, and it's all your fault. And you're going to fix it when you become a president versus doing it while you're already in office? None of that was reported. And see, this is what I'm saying. You have to do due diligence on everything. Even if it's buying a big wheel, check the company out. And this is why I hope, and I hope this class is helping, or this conversation is helping you to open your eyes as young people and get involved. Remember me asking you to go to the town meeting? How many of you have gone? That's where you start. That's where you start learning how to be involved. Go listen to what the city is talking about doing to you, the community, and put your input. Go with your parents when they ask for any questions on this category. You stand up if you heard something you didn't like and go to the podium. If you got to take your parent, if you have to be a certain age to speak, take the parent up there with you. And the parent, you say, well, board, I would like to present a idea, but it's coming from my child or whatever. And you step to that microphone and you speak. Speak for your age group. If you're into skateboarding and they want to close the park because people are skateboarding at the park, that makes no sense. So if you don't like that, then you would step up to that microphone and say, well, look, I'm such and such. My name is, let them know who you are. That's when you stand. That's when you stand. Be proud of your name. Speak it so they know who they're talking to. And then say what you have to say. Keep it respectful and be done. But that's how you get involved with this new stuff that I don't think is going to be after him. But that's how you get involved with your community. That's how you get involved with what's happening in your community. And that's when you can put up your voice to kind of mold it, not just step back and say, well, they're closing the park. I can't go there no more. They're closing this. I can't go there no more. The roller skating rink is now closed. So what do? Where's your fun? And it's not on the computer. So the Xboxes and PlayStations and all that stuff, that's okay. But get involved with how your society, how your life is going to be. We're all older. Well, I'm going to speak for myself. I've had my opportunity. What I'm sharing with you is to give you a broader opportunity to be more involved with everything, your finances, your ability to keep them, your awareness of your city and state, aware of you, who you are, because I hope this is opening up who you are. I can sure hear a difference in a few of you that are now speaking versus the first time you got on the call. You've already opened up and don't even realize it. And it's awesome to witness it. And it's an honor to be a part of it. All right. Any other questions before we go? This has been a long one, but it's been a worthwhile one.
Mr. Lewis, I have, well, not really a question, but could you go over the 4 homework just so I make sure I have it?
Yes, sir. We added one, so there's 5. Fiat, the written word, digital currency, cryptocurrency, there's actually 6, and digital representation. One more time.
Okay.
Fiat, written
Wait,
word.
oh, sorry, but what is fiat?
Fiat is this.
I heard that.
That's what this is. That's the name of this. So you're going to do some due diligence on it.
Fiat.
This is fiat.
How would you spell that?
Help me out.
FIAT.
FIAT, fiat currency or fiat. You can't call it currency because currency means money. That's why I only say fiat.
Okay. So fiat, written word, digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, and digital representation.
Correct.
Okay.
Digital representation of this.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Absolutely. All right. Any other questions? Like I said, none of us are perfect, but we do our best to be one of his best.